Hello students, today you are meeting me face to face, but it's not the conventional face to face situation where I am standing before you in the flesh and you're sitting in front of me in the flesh. We are meeting face to face today via technology, via this digital media. When we finished our lesson, the previous lesson, I had mentioned that I would proceed with our discussion of Proverbs. I want us now to look at a subcategory of Proverbs. I want us to talk about Proverbs that critically address bitter facts of life. Take this example. Ungihlinzela etibini. Ungihlinzela etibini. We know what kuhlinza is, right? It is removing the skin of, say, a goat or a cow. I think in English they would use the word to dress. Strangely enough, when you remove the coat of an animal, you are dressing it up. It's sort of counterintuitive. It seems to contradict what you and I would naturally assume to be the case. So when we say ungihlinzela etibini, we are actually saying that someone is bringing my name into disrepute. Someone is slandering my name. Someone is giving information about me, information that is damaging to my reputation, to my character. Ungihlinzela etibini. Perhaps the closest English equivalent of this proverb would be something like, or rather, just so that it sounds natural and not Tarzanish, you would say he is dressing the goat over debris. Now, when you remove the skin of a goat or a cow, you make sure that the meat does not come into contact with dirt, with whatever debris may be lying about. You take the trouble to ensure that you get your meat at the end of the exercise and the meat will be ready to eat. You will not be chewing grains of sand. Uhlinzela etibini is not advisable. It spoils the meat. You will not be able to enjoy that meat if the animal ihlinzelwe etibini. Another proverb that falls within this subcategory is this proverb, for example, it goes like this. Uhlakaniphe ngenhlanye njengemukhwa. Uhlakaniphe ngenhlanye njengemukhwa. What this means is that someone who thinks highly of their abilities, someone who is rather cocksure about their ability to do things, such a person is nevertheless found to be wanting, found to be deficient in some particular skill. A proverb like this is really meant to snub someone, to clip somebody's wings off. Yaphapha. Want to clip their wings off. We're reminding this person, uhlakaniphe ngenhlanye njengemukhwa. Yet another proverb is this one. Babodidla batibeke emathambo. Babodidla batibeke emathambo. This proverb emanates from the behavior of a young woman before marriage, especially if the family feels that the conduct of this woman, her character, makes her less suited for marriage. If the feeling is that she has certain attributes or predispositions, a certain predisposition, a certain quality or characteristic that would not sit well with the husband or the family of the husband. So they will say the lobola cows, when they are being used by this married woman now, this married woman who it was felt would not be a very resilient person. So they will say, Babotidla bati bege mathambo. What this is getting at, it's very intimately connected to a folk narrative. There is a story, there is a folk tale of a cow that was slaughtered, and one of the characters in the story, in an effort to resuscitate or resurrect the cow, they used magic. They got the bones of the slaughtered and devoured cow. They put the bones together and started chanting words of magic, and the cow started to revive, to live again. The idea that this dead cow can be resurrected provided the bones are still within reach. You bring the bones and the skin, you put them together, and you perform this magical chant. You utter certain words of magic, and these words of magic have the effect of reviving this cow, resurrecting this cow. So you'll notice how sometimes proverbs are derived from folk narratives that convey a very strong message for the culture. In other words, if we are talking about an unmarried young woman, or even if she's married, but we feel that chances are high that she will fail at her marriage. If we feel that utabalibuya, we use this proverb, babodidla batibeke emathambo, because naturally, when this woman is unable to persevere through the pressure at her marital home, she would be sent back to her family. And her husband and his family, they would quite often make some attempts to recover, to regain the cattle that they submitted to the maiden's family in marriage. Another proverb that still addresses bitter facts of life is the proverb that goes like this: akadalanga wabola emathumbu, akadalanga wabola emathumbu. Literally, the way you would render this in English, you would say, she did not give birth, but her intestines became rotten. Wabola emathumbu. Ubola, to decompose. She did not give birth, but her intestines decomposed. You are familiar that, of course, in Siswati, when we talk of emathumbu, we're actually talking about the womb, right? Now, this proverb is normally used to convey the idea that the young person is a no do gooder. This young person is wayward. We are, as it were, somehow lamenting with this young person's mother. We are lamenting her misfortune of having a wayward child. It is as if the waywardness of the child is a result of the fact that the woman's womb somehow got decomposed. Akadalanga wabola emathumbu. Akadalanga wabola emathumbu. Excuse me. Let's look at the next one. It goes like this: Sewubangwa netibi. Sewubangwa netibi. This proverb is used to describe the situation of an ill or a very sick person, someone who is essentially on their deathbed. The picture that this proverb paints is one where you cannot distinguish the living person and whatever debris, that it may be grass, it may be dead tree branches. It is as if, should you place this person in the wild or in the wilderness, this person is probably very skinny, they're skinny, they've lost so much weight, even the appearance of the skin is not very healthy. So this person sort of blends into the environment. In this case, I'm saying it's out there in the wilderness. Ubangwa netibi. Seubangwa netibi. He's so sick. You can't tell him or her apart from the grass, the twigs, the tree branches, whatever debris they may be lying on. You cannot tell the person apart from that environment. Let me proceed to talk about proverbs that are warnings. Proverbs that function as warnings. Lithatha losemsamo limphose emnyango. Lithathe losemnyango limphose emsamo. What is this li? Lithatha losemsamo limphose emnyango. Lithathe losemnyango limphose emsamo. I want to suggest that this li, this allusion or reference to li, is litulu, is a storm, a thunderclap with lightning. If you are seated by the door and a tremendous crack of lightning sounds, you jump into the further recess of the room. But the opposite occurs if you are sitting at the far end of the interior of the room. Should a crack of lightning strike, you'll run away. You'll jump towards the door. In other words, what this proverb conveys is the fact that in that spur of the moment, once you've lost clarity of mind, it's really an involuntary action. When that adrenaline pumps, the fear and flight response will be such that even if you are at a space that is normally considered safe, you'd find yourself running to danger. Lithatha losemsamo limphose emnyango. Lithathe losemnyango limphose emsamo. Emsamo, some of you know that our traditional Swazi hearts, umsamo was that part of the inside the heart, that part which is directly facing the door. It's in the far recess. It's the farthest point from the door. Umsamo, emsamo. Here's another proverb. Linceba lendvodza alihlekwa. Linceba lendvodza alihlekwa. Linceba is a wound, isn't it? An injury. Linceba lendvodza alihlekwa. A man's misfortune is no occasion for laughter or for ridicule. You do not laugh at or ridicule an injured person or someone with whatever affliction. It might be some deformity, something they were born with. There may be, it may be some mischance, something undesirable might have happened to this person. It is wrong to ridicule such a person. Linxeba lendvodza alihlekwa. Another one goes like this. Lunyawo alunambumulo. Lunyawo alunambumulo. The foot has no nose. Nose. I can't help but feel that this proverb evokes a dog. A dog will recognize a place that it has trodden before by its keen sense of smell. A dog would tell, I've been here before. A dog has a library of scents inside of it. It remembers, it keeps a record in its mind, it keeps a record of scents, scents as in SCENTS. So a dog, if it's roaming the neighborhood, it will know I've been here before, or there's a dog that went past here, or there's such and such a creature that, because a dog has such a keen sense of smell. Now, a human being doesn't have that advantage. So now what this proverb teaches is that you want to be careful wherever you are, because you may find yourself returning to this place in the future. Lunyawo alunambumulo. If the human feet had a sense of smell, that ability in the foot would alert you that, hey, be careful, you've been here before and you offended or you insulted so and so in this neighborhood. Turn away. Take another path away from this place. Lunyawo alunambumulo. Another proverb is this. It goes like this. Inala ihlola indlala. Inala ihlola indlala. Inala is abundance of farm products. Bountiful harvest. Inala. Ihlola. This hlola here is not the one for picking, looking. Uhlola in this situation, I think the best equivalent is the word harbinger. Harbinger. Inala ihlola indlala. Indlala is famine, scarcity of food. So what the proverb is basically saying is that Sometimes abundance may be a harbinger of scarcity. Now, a proverb like this, as a warning, such a proverb would be alerting someone who has an abundance of something, someone who has a clear advantage. It's a way of saying, be careful. You may not have this abundance forever. Inala, ihlola, indlala. A great harvest is a harbinger of scarcity. Another proverb that is a warning is this one. Sala kutshelwa sibona ngemopho. Sala kutshelwa sibona ngemopho. He who rejects counsel will come to their senses once they are injured. People who reject counsel, advice, people who reject counsel will come to their senses once they are injured. If you refuse, if you reject counsel, you will realize the folly. You will realize you made a mistake by rejecting counsel, by rejecting advice. You will realize it was folly, it was foolish of you. The moment of realization of that is when you are suffering. You are suffering the very thing you want about. When you are bleeding, when you are injured, then you realize, I should have listened. So this proverb basically says, do not reject counsel because you will regret it. Do not reject counsel. If you do, you will live to regret it. Now, let me just say something briefly about the source of some of these proverbs. How are they derived? The wisdom in the Proverbs strongly suggests that the people that formulated these proverbs were keen observers of natural phenomena, human behavior, animal behavior, the behavior of plants, human relations, be it at the family level or at the level of the community or any other arena of human relationships. The people that coined these proverbs must certainly have been people who observed keenly, closely, and thus were able to come up with these proverbs. For example, observing people's way of life and habits enables you to derive a proverb. Now, emanti eviwa ngeludvondvolo This simply means that if you are about to cross a river, you don't simply plunge in. You walk carefully with a walking stick before you, the walking stick helping you to gauge the depth of the water so that you do not drown. Another one goes like this: Litfumba liphola ngekukhanya. It means you recover from a boil once you have squeezed out the pus inside both. Litfumba liphola ngekukhanya. What it means is that you have to experience some severe discomfort before you are relieved of whatever pain you are going through. Litfumba, of course, we know Litfumba is a boil. It's when you have some infection and your flesh swells and the blood inside. Excuse me.